everyone, welcome to our English learning podcast. I'm Elena. It's so nice to be here with you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jack. We're so happy you're here with us today. This podcast is a great place to learn English in a simple and fun way.
Yes, and today's topic is something we all use in daily life, the bank. Many people use a bank to save money, send money, or take a loan. But sometimes the words and phrases we hear in a bank can be confusing. So today, we will talk about banks and help you understand more about them in English.
That's right. We'll talk about what a bank is, what people do at a bank, and we'll also share some useful words you can hear at the bank. So, let's start with a simple question. What is a bank?
A bank is a place where people keep their money. It is a safe place. People can save their money in the bank. They can also take money out, which we call withdraw. Also, people can send money to other people from a bank. That is called a transfer.
Exactly. And many people also borrow money from the bank. When you borrow money, you take a loan. Later, you must give the money back to the bank, usually with interest. Interest means you pay a little extra money in addition to the money you borrowed.
Let's give a simple example. If I borrow $100 from the bank and the interest is $5, then I need to pay back $105.
That's a good example, Elena. Now, let's talk about some people who work in a bank. One important person is the teller. The teller is the person who helps you when you go to the bank counter.
Yes, when you go to a bank and wait in line, the teller is the person you speak to. The teller can help you put money into your account, give you cash, or help you transfer money.
Speaking of that, what is a bank account? A bank account is like your personal place inside the bank. You can keep your money there, and you can use it when you need.
There are different types of bank accounts. For example, we have a savings account, where you keep your money to save. And we also have a checking account or current account, which is usually used for daily spending.
That's right. A savings account is for saving money, and the bank often gives you a little interest on that money. A checking account is used for daily things like paying bills or shopping.
Also, today many people use online banking. You don't need to go to the bank building. You can use your computer or your phone to check your money, transfer money, or pay bills.
Yes, online banking is very popular now. It's fast and easy. You just need a bank app or access to the bank's website. You can see your balance. That means how much money you have in your account at any time.
And if you want to take money out, you can also go to an ATM. That's the machine where you use your card to withdraw cash.
Good point. The ATM, or automated teller machine, helps people get cash without talking to a teller. You just insert your bank card, enter your PIN number, and choose how much money you want to withdraw.
Let's slow down a little and give a few more examples to help everyone understand better. Imagine I go to the bank. I give $200 to the teller and ask her to put it into my savings account. That means I'm depositing money.
Great example. And if you take out $100 from your account, we say you are withdrawing money. It's the opposite of deposit.
Another common thing is sending money. If I want to give money to my friend in another city, I can use the bank to transfer the money to her account.
Yes. People also use banks to pay bills, like water, electricity, or phone bills. You can do that at the bank or using online banking.
So many things happen at the bank. Some people also go to the bank to ask about getting a loan for buying a house or starting a business.
True. When you want to buy a house, sometimes you need a mortgage. That's a special kind of loan for houses. It's usually a big loan, and people pay it back over many years.
That's a good word to learn, mortgage. Many people hear that word when they talk about buying a home. And sometimes, to get a loan, you need to show your credit score. It's a number that shows how good you are at paying money back.
Yes, banks want to know that you will pay the money back. So, a good credit score helps you get a loan more easily.
Also, when you go to the bank, don't forget to take your ID, your identification card, or passport. The bank always asks for it.
Absolutely. And now I think our listeners have learned a lot already. We've talked about bank accounts, tellers, loans, interest, savings, checking accounts, ATMs, online banking, and more.
Yes, and we'll keep talking more about this topic because there's still more to learn about banks and how to use them in real life.
That's right, Elena. And I think one important thing to talk about now is how to open a bank account. Many people want to know what they need to do when they go to the bank for the first time.
Yes, that's a great point. Usually, the bank will ask you to bring your ID, like a passport or national card. Sometimes they also ask for a document to show your address, like a bill from your home.
And then, the bank gives you a form to fill out. You write your name, address, phone number, and maybe your job. After that, you can choose what kind of account you want, a savings account or a checking account.
And sometimes, the bank gives you a debit card. This card is connected to your account. You can use it to buy things in shops or take money from the ATM.
Exactly. A debit card is different from a credit card. With a debit card, you use your own money from your account. But with a credit card, you borrow money from the bank and pay it back later.
That's a very important difference. Many people use a credit card for shopping or booking hotels or flights. But you must be careful. If you don't pay the money back on time, the bank will charge you extra fees or interest.
Right. So it's important to use credit cards wisely. Some people only use debit cards because they don't want to borrow money. It depends on what you prefer.
Another thing people often ask is, how can I check my account balance? That means, how can I know how much money I have in my account?
Good question. You can go to the bank and ask the teller, or you can use an ATM. But the easiest way these days is through online banking. You can check your balance, pay bills, or transfer money from your phone or computer.
Yes, online banking saves time. It's available 24 hours a day. You just need to log in with your username and password, and you can see everything about your account.
And don't forget, you must keep your password safe and secret. Never tell it to anyone. It's important for your security.
Yes, bank security is very important. Sometimes, the bank may also send you a security code on your phone to make sure it's really you.
Let's also talk a bit about sending money. If you want to send money to another person, you need their account number and sometimes a bank code like an IBAN or SWIFT code, especially for sending money to other countries.
And the bank may also ask you for the person's name and the reason for the transfer. It's a simple process, but you need to be careful and check everything before you send money.
That's true. One small mistake in the account number can send the money to the wrong person.
And if you have a problem, don't worry. You can always go to the bank and speak to the customer service. They will help you fix the problem or explain what to do.
Yes, customer service is there to support you. Sometimes you can also call the bank's helpline if you cannot visit the bank in person.
And now that we're talking about help, I think many people want to know, what if I lose my bank card?
Yes, that's a serious situation. If you lose your card, you must call the bank immediately. They will block your card so no one else can use it.
Then, the bank can send you a new card. Sometimes it takes a few days, but it's important to act quickly if your card is lost or stolen.
Exactly. And remember, if someone tries to use your card without permission, it's called fraud. The bank will help you in such cases, but you need to report it fast.
That's why keeping your card safe and checking your account often is a good habit. It helps you stay in control of your money.
And speaking of habits, many people like to set a monthly budget. That means they plan how much money they will spend each month and how much they will save.
Yes, a monthly budget is a great idea. You can write your income and your expenses, like rent, food, transport, and so on. Then, you can decide how much to save in your bank account.
It helps you understand your money better. When you have a budget, you are more careful about spending, and you can reach your financial goals faster.
Very true. And saving money in the bank is much safer than keeping it at home. Also, the bank sometimes gives you interest on your savings, so your money can grow a little over time.
Yes, even a small interest helps. Over time, it becomes more money. That's why people say save early, save smart.
That's a nice saying, Jack. And I think we've shared many helpful ideas so far about how banks work and how people use them in real life.
Yes, Elena. And it's also interesting to know that some banks offer different types of savings accounts. For example, some accounts have a higher interest rate, but you cannot take the money out easily. These are called fixed deposit accounts or term deposits.
Right, in a fixed deposit account, you keep your money in the bank for a set time, maybe 6 months, 1 year, or more. During that time, you usually cannot withdraw the money, but the interest you earn is higher than a regular savings account.
Exactly. So, people often use this type of account when they don't need the money soon. It's a good way to grow your savings slowly and safely.
Yes, and banks usually give you a certificate for the fixed deposit. It shows how much money you put in, the interest rate, and how long it will stay in the bank.
And when the time is finished, the bank gives you back your money plus the interest. But if you want to take the money early, the bank may reduce the interest or charge a penalty.
That's true. So, it's important to plan carefully before choosing a fixed deposit. You should ask yourself, will I need this money soon? If yes, maybe it's better to use a regular savings account.
And speaking of planning, some banks also offer automatic savings plans. That means every month, the bank takes a small amount of money from your main account and puts it into your savings account.
Oh yes, that's a great idea. You don't even need to remember to save. The bank does it for you automatically. Even if you save a small amount each month, it can grow into a big amount over time.
That's why many people say, save before you spend. When the savings go first, you don't forget or skip it. It becomes a habit.
And saving is not only for big things like a house or a car. You can also save for small goals, like a trip, a new phone, or an emergency fund.
Yes, an emergency fund is very useful. It means money that you keep only for special situations, like if you lose your job or need to go to the doctor suddenly.
Exactly. Life is sometimes unpredictable, so having an emergency fund makes you feel more secure and less worried.
Another useful service at the bank is loans. Sometimes people need more money to buy something important, like a house or car, and they don't have enough savings. So, they ask the bank for a loan.
Yes, a loan means the bank gives you money now, and you agree to pay it back later, usually in monthly payments, with interest.
And before giving a loan, the bank checks your credit history. That means your past record of borrowing and paying back money. If your credit history is good, it's easier to get a loan.
Some people use loans for education, business, or even emergencies. But again, it's important to borrow only what you can pay back. Otherwise, you may have financial problems.
Absolutely. And if you don't pay your loan on time, the bank may charge late fees or take legal action. So always read the loan contract carefully and ask questions before you sign anything.
And speaking of contracts, banks also help with other things. For example, you can rent a safe deposit box at the bank to keep your important documents, jewelry, or valuables.
Yes, that's a good service. A safe deposit box is like a small metal box inside the bank. It's very secure, and only you can open it with your key or code.
Some people use it to store things like property papers, birth certificates, or even family heirlooms. It's much safer than keeping such things at home.
Exactly. Banks are not just places to keep your money, they also help you protect your important things and plan for the future.
That's right. I think the more we understand how banks work, the more confident we feel when we use their services.
Yes, and I believe many people feel shy or nervous when they visit the bank, especially if it's in a different language or country. But it becomes easier when you know the basic words and ideas.
Absolutely, and don't forget, bank staff are there to help. If you don't understand something, you can ask. It's okay to ask questions, even simple ones.
That's a great reminder, Elena. Banking is part of everyday life, and it's important to feel comfortable using it, asking for help, and managing your money in a smart way.
Yes, and one final thought. Banking may seem boring at first, but it's actually a powerful tool. It helps us save, plan, protect, and build a better future.
You're absolutely right, Elena. Banking is more than just numbers. It really is about helping people improve their lives. And learning how to use banking tools properly can give us more control and more peace of mind.
Yes, and another useful thing we should talk about is online banking. Today, many people don't go to the bank building. They use their computer or mobile phone to manage everything.
Online banking is so convenient. You can check your account balance, transfer money, pay bills, and even open new accounts all from your home.
Exactly. You just need to log in using your username and password. Some banks also use extra security like a code sent to your phone, which is called two-step verification.
That's true. It helps to keep your account safe. But still, it's important to be careful. Don't share your password and don't click on strange links in emails or messages. That could be fraud or a scam.
Yes, scams are fake messages that try to trick people and steal their money or personal information. If you ever feel something is not right, you should contact your bank immediately.
Good advice. And also, people should check their account often. If you see anything strange like money moving without your permission, you must tell the bank right away.
That's why online banking is not just about comfort. It also gives you more control. You don't need to wait in a line at the bank to know what's happening in your account.
Exactly. And it saves time. You can pay your electricity bill or phone bill with just a few clicks.
Also, some banks have mobile apps, which are easy to use. Even if you're traveling or outside your home, you can still manage your money.
And many apps also show your spending habits, like how much you spend on food, travel, or shopping. That helps you understand your budget better.
Speaking of budget, banks also help you with financial planning. Some banks offer advice or tools to help you plan your expenses, income, and savings.
Yes, that's a really important point. Budgeting means deciding how much money you can use for different things each month, like rent, food, transport, and savings.
A simple budget helps you avoid overspending. It shows you clearly what you earn and what you spend. If you know your limits, you can make better decisions.
And if you want help, you can talk to a bank financial advisor. They are professionals who can guide you about saving, investing, and reaching your goals.
Yes, even for small goals, a plan helps. For example, if you want to save $500 in 6 months, you can calculate how much you need to save each week or month.
That's right. Many people don't reach their financial goals simply because they don't have a clear plan. But when you break it into small steps, it becomes easier.
And sometimes, banks offer financial literacy programs, short classes, or online lessons to teach people about money. That's a great way to learn more.
Yes, I've seen banks offer workshops about saving, loans, or credit cards. Some are even free. It's really good, especially for young people or those who are just starting to manage money.
I agree. Learning about money from an early age helps people avoid problems later in life. It teaches responsibility and smart thinking.
Absolutely. And speaking of young people, many banks now offer student accounts. These accounts are made for young customers with fewer fees and special offers.
Yes, and student accounts help teenagers or college students learn how to use a bank. They can get a debit card, learn to save, and understand money better.
Also, some banks allow parents to open junior accounts for small children. It's a fun way to teach kids about saving from a young age.
That's a great idea. Even simple habits, like putting a little money in a savings account each month, can teach children the value of money.
So true. And it's not only about numbers. It's about building a strong habit and a healthy attitude toward money.
Yes, and the bank is there to support that journey, whether you're a child, a student, an adult, or even a retired person.
Yes, that's so true, Elena. The bank is not just a place to store money. It supports people in every stage of life from childhood to old age. It helps us save, plan, and manage money in a smart way.
Exactly, Jack. When people understand how banks work, they can make better choices. They can feel more confident and secure about their money.
And that's why learning about banks is so important. Whether you're opening your first account or using online banking, having knowledge helps you use the services in the best way.
Right. And we also talked about many useful tools like debit cards, savings accounts, mobile apps, and even how to stay safe from scams.
Yes, and now I think it's a good time to quickly summarize what we've talked about today.
Sure, let's do that.
So, in this podcast, we talked about banks and how they work. We explained different types of bank accounts like savings accounts and checking accounts. We discussed debit cards, ATMs, loans, and online banking. We also talked about how to stay safe from scams and how banks help people with financial planning and budgeting.
Exactly. And now let's go over some important words we used today, along with their meanings and examples. This will help our listeners remember and practice.
1. Bank, a place where people keep their money and use financial services. For example, I go to the bank every month to deposit my salary. 2. Savings account, an account where you keep money and earn a small interest. For example, I save $50 each month in my savings account. 3. Debit card, a card used to pay from your bank account directly. For example, I used my debit card to buy groceries. 4. ATM, a machine that lets you take out or put in money without going inside the bank. For example, I withdrew cash from the ATM yesterday. 5. Loan, money borrowed from the bank that you must pay back later. For example, I took a loan from the bank to buy a car. 6. Online banking, using a computer or phone to manage your bank account. For example, I pay my electricity bill through online banking. 7. Scam, a dishonest trick to steal money or information. For example, be careful that message could be a scam. 8. Budget, a plan for how to spend and save your money. For example, I made a monthly budget to control my spending. 9. Financial advisor, a person who helps you make money decisions. For example, the financial advisor told me how to save for a house.
These are really helpful words. I hope our listeners will try to use them in their speaking and writing.
Yes, and don't forget, the more you practice, the better your English will become. You can even repeat this podcast and write down the words and sentences.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed learning about banks and improving your English at the same time.
If you like this podcast, please click like, leave a comment, and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new episode.
Thanks again, and keep learning.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Bye-bye.